Imagine a world full of people, but empty of kindness. A world where violence had become normal, selfishness was celebrated, and people no longer cared about doing what was right. That was the world in Noah's time. God looked at the earth and saw how broken it had become. People had turned away from him, choosing their own ways instead of love, justice, and goodness. The pain of the world grieved God's heart. But in the middle of all that darkness, one man stood out. His name was Noah. The Bible describes Noah as a righteous man, not perfect, but faithful. While everyone else followed their own desires, Noah chose to walk with God. And God noticed. One day, God spoke to Noah with a message unlike anything ever heard before. He said the world would be cleansed by a great flood. Water would cover the earth not as a random disaster, but as a reset, a chance to start again. But God also had a plan of rescue. He told Noah, build an ark, not a boat, not a raft. An ark huge, detailed, and specific in design. God gave Noah exact instructions: the size, the materials, the rooms, even how it should be sealed. This ark would protect Noah, his family, and living creatures from the coming flood. There was just one problem. It had never rained like that before. No oceans bursting, no endless rain, no reason, in human logic, to build a massive ship on dry land. But Noah didn't argue. He didn't delay. He didn't ask for proof. He trusted God, and he began to build. Day after day, Noah worked, hammering, measuring, lifting heavy wood. People passed by and laughed. Why are you building that? Do you really believe a flood is coming? Where is your God now? But Noah kept building. Faith isn't just believing, it's obeying, even when no one else understands. Years passed. The ark slowly took shape. Then, just as God promised, something incredible happened. Animals began to arrive. From every direction, creatures came two by two. Lions, elephants, birds, insects, animals Noah had never seen before. People watched in confusion and fear. Then God spoke again. Enter the ark. Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives stepped inside. The animals followed. And then something only God could do. The door of the ark was shut. The skies darkened. Thunder rolled. Rain began to fall. Not a drizzle, not a storm, but rain like the world had never known. Water poured from the sky and burst from the ground. Rivers overflowed. Land disappeared. The ark lifted from the earth and began to float. Inside the ark, Noah and his family waited. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Outside, water everywhere. Inside, safety, because God had kept his word. After 40 days and nights, the rain stopped, but the waters remained. Slowly, very slowly, the flood waters began to recede. The ark came to rest on the mountains. Noah sent out a raven, then a dove. The dove returned with nothing. Later, it returned with an olive leaf, a sign of life. Finally, God spoke again. Come out of the ark. Noah stepped onto dry ground for the first time in months. The world looked different, but it was clean, quiet, new. The first thing Noah did was build an altar and thank God. God then made a promise not just to Noah, but to all humanity. Never again would he destroy the earth with a flood. And as a sign of that promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky, a reminder that judgment does not cancel mercy, and that God keeps his promises. Noah's story teaches us powerful lessons. Faith sometimes means standing alone. Obedience often requires patience, and trust in God can lead to salvation not just for you, but for others. Noah didn't know when the rain would come. He didn't know how people would respond, but he trusted God one day, one nail, one step at a time, and God honored that faith. When life doesn't make sense, when obedience feels lonely, remember Noah, because faith that obeys, even when it looks foolish, can build something that saves lives. If this story encouraged you, share it with someone today. And remember, faith isn't about seeing the storm. It's about trusting God before it comes.